notice something is wrong with my lashes, you're a hater. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, SHUGAS. My name is Nomzamashangase, and this is my YouTube channel where I speak about all things books, DIY, and lifestyle. If that is your kind of jam, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to get notified every single time my own girl post a video. My voice is at its sexiest right now. This is the best part about having flu. It just sounds so sexy. I am doing a May wrap up, like my May monthly book wrap up. I haven't done one of these in so long because I was reading A Little Lie for the first better half of this year, early this year. Well, I was kind of like finishing it off. If you have read that book, you know that it's so satisfactory to read, but it will put you in the biggest slump of your life. I was going through that, so I wasn't reading any books, but in May, I went through a period where I was in the mood to escape. Obviously, books saved my life. I read 9 books and I want to talk about them. Without further ado, let's get right into this video, you guys. So I have a bunch of like physical books with me, and I also read quite a bit on like my ebooks. So first, we start off strong, okay? We start off strong. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, we follow Yasmin and Jasiah. These two are a divorced couple who are currently like co-parenting and running a business together. I think it had been a couple of years since they've been divorced. And right now, Yasmin, who was the one who asked for the divorce, is basically at a point where she is healing from the things that they went through, because they went through some really difficult things. The love was never gone. It's just that the things that they went through were too big for them to handle. We follow them through their journey, like just individually working through their own issues. Yasmin has not necessarily reached a point where she's truly healed, but you can tell that she's on her way, and she's in the process of just wanting community at that point. Like, she has dealt with it by herself, but now she's in need of having like community and the people that she loved. And Jasiah is just guys, I love Jasiah so much. I love him so much. Jasiah is just your typical black man who just doesn't necessarily believe in therapy or talking things out, just believes in suffering in silence, I guess. You see them with their kids and also their friends and just the community that they live in. It was such a beautiful representation of black love without the struggle of kind of like we need to put each other through hell and back. It was just external things that affected their relationship. I absolutely love this book. I thought the romance was beautiful. The tension between these two, like, it's so... you can taste it, you feel it, everything about it. I love the external stories that it told. Being a divorced couple and having kids and trying to move on, and all those conversations, and having friends, choosing to be vulnerable with your friends, just choosing people and choosing things and being accountable of things. I'm sorry, man, this book is perfect. Miss Kennedy Ryan put her best Bastan dude in this, okay? It's beautiful. I think about Jasiah every other day. There is a second book which is going to be focusing on Soledad, who is a side character in this book that's coming out next year. Trust me, I'm reading that book. I'm getting that book because what the crumbs we got in here, I need to know. I urge you guys to go read this book. Like, I'm dead as serious. Go read this book, okay? Second book I read is Flawless by Elsie Silva. This is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series. This series kind of like follows these 4 brothers, and Flawless is the first one, which follows Red and Summer. I don't want to say it's an enemies to lovers, because they don't really hate each other. Summer is this agent that has to kind of like babysit this bull rider whose name is Red. I've got into trouble like with the media, and right now he's trying to, you know, kind of like rebrand his image. Summer is kind of like looking after him, making sure that he stays on routine, making sure that he's on top of his game. Summer moves to the ranch where Red lives with his dad and his brothers, kind of like in close proximity, and there's just tension that builds up between the two of them. At first they kind of don't like each other, but they start to kind of like respect each other and like each other, and you know, the more they get to know each other and build this friendship, the more they feel things that are more than just friends. And I thought that was really beautiful, just to see them build it up. This is not my favorite. If you like The Longest Ride, the movie, you would definitely like this one. I didn't like it as much. I think I gave it like a 3 something or a 3 star. Even the smut wasn't really hitting that me. I don't know, maybe if it was the mood that I was in, wasn't like my top pick. That is the second book that I read in May. Another one is Tia Williams' The Perfect Find. I had high expectations. I'm not even gonna lie to you. A lot of people, they put this book on a high pedestal. In this one, we follow Eric and Jenna. There's an age gap, which is an older woman and a younger man. This one, they were in total different spheres. I kind of have like this awesome moment together. After they have this moment, they meet again in a workspace, and Eric is this videographer, kind of like a director, and then Jenna is like a journalist, like an editorial fashion type of person, and they have to work together. I thought the storyline was quite interesting, but I just didn't believe them as a couple. There was just something off about this. Also didn't like the jump of POVs like mid-paragraph. If there's something that bores me to death, it's that, and I really didn't enjoy that part. I like the spicy scenes in here. I think the sex scenes was so amazing. They were so well done. If there's one thing Tia Williams will do, is do that right. Yeah, I think another thing that was a factor for me here was the fact that I was comparing this book to 7 Days in June, which I don't think is fair to this book, but I think even if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have hit also for me. I think maybe it's just a me thing. I think other people would definitely like this book. It's just that it was not my cup of tea. But I'm so excited for the movie. I recently saw the trailer and I was like, okay, yeah, no, the trailer looks so good. I hope that they do change certain things. Yeah, something was just missing or something was just off about this one that I didn't really connect with, so I have to say for it. The Right Move by Liz Tomforde. This is the second book in the Windy City series. The first one is Mile High, and we follow Ryan, who is a basketball player. It's kind of like a big star in the NBA, and Indy, who is a flight attendant. And Indy just broke up with her boyfriend of 6 years, and she needs a place to stay because she had like uprooted her life to move in with this boyfriend, and then this man just kind of did her dirty. Indy is best friends with Ryan's sister, who they're twins if I'm not mistaken. It's a grumpy sunshine because Ryan first comes across as a very grumpy person, a neat freak, a very like please do not be in my space type of person, but they develop this friendship or this better understanding, and soon enough Ryan starts doing small things to make her feel at home. Like she likes iced coffee, so he makes it beforehand for her, and then she opens the fridge and it's there, and he buys like flowers or take care of the plants that she has. They are friends first before they actually spark up a relationship, which I think was just so beautiful to see, because you actually see Ryan come out of his shell, because he comes across as like a shy, quiet, reserved type of person, but you actually get to know that he's very goofy. Because of his career, he has to act a certain way. It is a slow burn. It is a beautiful book. I loved it so much. I thought it was really well done. I think it is my favorite one. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely cute. And I read the second book in the Chestnut Springs series, which is Heartless. Here we follow Cade and Willa. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite Chestnut Springs book, okay? There is just something about a single dad, and he's grumpy. And here comes this Willa character who's just like bubbly and extrovert and just full of life, and just comes to disturb the peace. Then I was just like eating it up. And book we follow Cade and Willa. Willa becomes a nanny to Cade's son for the summer. Grumpy sunshine. Loved seeing Cade go from actually not trusting this woman to being so obsessed and so in love with her. Also very spicy. Like the spice here is so good. This book, the best one, worth the hype. I would suggest that you just read this one. Don't read Flawless. Good. I think I gave it like a 4.5. Even like the breakup, like even the things that they thought about was so real and so relevant and so understandable that you're like, yeah, no, I can see it. It was so realistic. Absolutely love this book. And then your girl went on a rant, and then she read Just Like Colleen Hoover books. There is a reading vlog where I read this book, but I'm going to start with Confess. In this book, Urban and Owen, these two meet in an unlikely way. Like Owen needs someone to help him in his gallery. Urban is just around and she accepts the job, and they spark up a friendship out of that. Thinking about this now, this book, it has such a nice storyline, but I just think it's weird. I have these really strong feelings towards each other, even though they just met, and I just thought that was just a little bit weird, just unrealistic. Insta love type of thing. Yeah, it was just unrealistic for me. Wasn't my favorite. But I just love certain concepts of this book. Like Owen draws his inspiration from confessions people live in his gallery, and then he does paintings based on those confessions. Fun fact is that all these confessions are actually quite true. Like the confessions that are mentioned in this book are true. I thought that was a beautiful concept, and I just love that. Other than that, there's nothing special about this one. Then I came to this one. Guys, this book is so perfect. All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover is the book. Mwah! You know, I thought November 9 was my favorite one. But no, this one actually takes the cup. I kind of forgot for a second that I was reading. It felt like I was watching a movie. So we follow Quinn and Graham. They meet in a very unlikely way. After that encounter that they had, they meet again months later and they spark up this relationship. And it has a timeline of then and now. So we get to see them, how they met and how they dated and how Graham proposed and everything like that, and how they kind of like built their life to the end now, which is kind of like 7 years later, and they're struggling in their marriage. They're going through some really, really difficult things. They just can't seem to have a breakthrough out of the things that they're going through. Quinn is like breaking down. She's just breaking into pieces every single day, and Graham has to see the love of his life like this, and he has to be the strong one. So he's also suffering, but he also has to be the strong one, and the things that he does for her. And I was mad at the beginning because we see a lot of Quinn kind of like talking us through everything, but towards the end you finally get to hear from Graham. My heart broke, and I thought it was beautifully written. So many beautiful quotes. Graham is the most smartest. The things that he said, I can't wait to go to my book journal and kind of like write everything down. This book is so perfect and I loved it so much. Like, I don't know what more I can say. To see Quinn break down and just let go of her dream, her just going through that process was just so heavy for me to read. Like, guys, this book flowed so well. The writing was so beautiful. I loved it so much. The ending was also just perfect and beautiful. Guys, this book is perfect. I read Never Never by Colleen, Hoover and Tarryn Fisher. And this book we follow Charlie and Silas. The book opens up with Charlie and Silas just coming into the present day, and they don't remember anything or what happened to them, that they can take us through the whole process of trying to remember, so why it's happening to them. And a lot of secrets are uncovered about Charlie and Silas, about who they are, about their family. They've always been each other's lives and they've always loved each other. Part 1 and part 2 of this book was so good, like written so well. The suspense, I was at the edge of my seat. I had my own, you know, like theories and reasons why it was happening to them. Part 3 at the beginning was so good. Towards the end, I was disappointed. I was just over it because I was like, really? That's why? The ending, it was just kind of like an eye roll. I would recommend this book because I think the suspense is like really good. But yeah, the ending may disappoint you. I think it's worth it. Kind of. In a way. Still deciding to. Last but definitely not least, I read Reluctantly Yours by Erin, Hawkwins, and this book we follow Barrett and Chloe. This reminded me of Beautiful Bastard. It was a fake dating, office romance, billionaire boyfriend. It just gave me all the feels and all like the giddiness, and the tension was so real. Like, the tension was so good. Like, it was a good, cute book. It just gave cuteness. You know when you're in the mood of watching like a cute chick flick? It really gave that. I didn't like that it was long. I felt like it was unnecessary long. But yeah, overall the book was good. I really enjoyed it. I think you should check it out too, you know, just for a fun read. Those are all the books that I read in May. It feels good to read again after being in a slump for like the first 3 months of this year, and I feel like I'm just starting to read now. That is all for this video. I really do hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that little bell to get notified every single time your girl post a video. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.